Who can make the Super Bowl in the NFC? I feel like this order that I have is a lot more debatable than the AFC. But with number one, I'm going with the New Orleans Saints. They brought back Drew Brees. They signed Jameis Winston. They also have Taysom Hill. That Taysom Hill package that they have, where they just have Taysom Hill tight end, wide receiver, whatever he can play, which is anything. Comes out, does his thing. They have Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray. Also have Ty Montgomery, which I didn't know. They have Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Thomas, Jaquan Smith. They also have Taysom Hill listed as a wide receiver on here, which is funny. They have Jared Cook, who's good. Josh Hill, not bad for a backup tight end. Great offensive line. Teron Armstead, Andrews Pete, both multiple-time Pro Bowlers. Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, who's a rookie. Ryan Ramczyk, who's a great right tackle. So their offensive line's great. Their receiving core is obviously good with Michael Thomas leading the way, even though I think he's a little bit overrated. I can get into that in a different video if you want, but not for this one. And then, as a whole, their offense is great. They'll be top 5 in offensive yards, points, time possessions, all that stuff. And then they have their defense, which is really good also. Cameron Jordan, Sheldon Rankins, Malcolm Brown, and Marcus Davenport on the defensive line. Their D-tackles are iffy. Cameron Jordan's a stud. Marcus Davenport is an upcoming. He just ended his second year. I think he's okay. He has potential, but I don't know. You kind of want to expect more production from him. Their linebackers are really good. They have Demario Davis and one of my favorite linebackers, minus him being a scumbag, Kiko Alonso. And then they have Alex Anzalone, who I don't know who he is. And then their secondary is pretty good. They have Janoris Jenkins, good corner, Malcolm Jenkins, Marcus Williams, who did lit up that Stephon Diggs play. But besides that, he's really good. That was just a mistake by him. I'm pretty sure he was a rookie that year. Marshawn Lattimore. They have 2 good backups, and P.J. Williams, Patrick Robinson. And as a whole, their defense is really good. I feel like they're just one of the most balanced teams in the NFL. I feel like there's no way they went under 12 games, maybe even 13. But also they have to play Tom Brady twice a year, who, going off of that, second team's the Buccaneers. You could say they're overrated, but last year they went from the 32nd best defense to the 5th. And they added Tom Brady, which is obviously offense, but you know what I mean. As a whole, this is their team. Tom Brady, with Blaine Gabbert backing him up. Running back's awful. They have Ronald Jones. That's the worst position on the team. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller, wide receivers. Scotty Miller's alright third wide receiver. I mean, he's good for a third wide receiver, but I don't know. He won't be bad, but he definitely won't be outstanding as a wide receiver 3. They have a good tight end group with Gronk, O.J. Howard, and Cameron Brate. They should trade O.J. Howard. I'm saying that right now. Patriots, you should have gotten him in the Gronk trade. Don't know why you only got a 4th round or 5th round pick from that. Offensive line is great. They have Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet, and Ryan Jensen. 3 really good offensive linemen. Alex Kappa, I don't know who he is. Tristan Wirfs, they just drafted. Hopefully he'll be good. We'll have to see, though. But as a whole, their offensive line is good. Their tight ends are outstanding. Their wide receivers are outstanding. Running back is horrible. Quarterback is obviously Tom Brady. Replace Jameis Winston with Tom Brady. That's a good upgrade. Although I do think Jameis Winston will be a franchise quarterback. Check out my video from 2 days ago to see what I have to say about him. Now, their defense, they have Ndamukong Suh, who's a scumbag, but a really good football player. He kicked someone in the face however many years ago. Vita Vea, I had him on my under 25 and under NFL defense team. William Golston, who's not bad. They have Jason Pierre-Paul, who was good, not bad anymore, but I mean, he's obviously not the same player he was. He lost a finger. That's not the reason why he's bad, though. He's just getting old. He's not bad. All right, I shouldn't have called him bad right there. He's getting older, so he's kind of falling off a bit. And then they have Devin White. He's going into second year. He's outstanding. Levante David, getting old, but he's still really good for them. Shaquille Barrett had a breakout year last year. Led the league in sacks with 19.5. He's going to be great next year, I think. Hopefully it's not like a Vic Beasley situation, but I think he'll be great. Then they have Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy-Bunting at corner with M.J. Stewart and Jamal Dean backing them up. I don't know much about their corners or their safeties, to be honest. Antoine Winfield Jr. I know. But Jordan Whitehead, I don't know who he is. Justin Evans is his backup. He's not bad. Antoine Winfield Jr. is a rookie. We'll have to see how he can do for the team in his first year. I think he'll be good. He was drafted 45th overall in the second round. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Rookie safeties don't always do the best, but we'll have to see with him. And then they also have Matt Gay, good kicker. He was a rookie last year. Bradley Pinion. As a whole, their offense is great. Their defense is good with secondary issues, though, because I don't think any of those guys are really proven starters yet. But we'll have to see how they do. But the defensive line can bail them out, and their linebackers can too. I don't know. We'll just have to see how they do. Their inside linebackers are great. Their outside linebackers are great. Their defensive ends are good. Their nose tackle, and Vita Vea, is good, but he was a rookie last year. We'll have to see how he can do in his second year, see if he can take a jump. Ndamukong Suh, let's see if he's going on the wrong side of 30. Well, he is, but I mean, like, play-wise. And same with JPP. Same with Levante David. But we'll just have to see how everyone can do. They have an aging defense with some young pieces. I feel like they'll be good, but I feel like their offense will be what carries them next year. And, I mean, they won't be able to run the ball, so maybe there will be some issues. But Bruce Arians, we all know how he coaches, has his players play a lot of passing. More or less, I feel like Ronald Jones will be a good fantasy football player. I don't think he'll be a good football player next year, though. Now on number 3, the team that just lost in the Super Bowl, the 49ers. Obviously, they have Jimmy G, backup Nick Mullins, who I think Nick Mullins is one of the best backups in the league. Then at running back, obviously they have Raheem Mostert, Kevin Coleman, Jerick McKinnon, and Jeff Wilson Jr., the most stacked running back group in the NFL. Raheem Mostert, I feel like if he was just the clear number 1, which he is on this team, but they mix in everyone else, he would be a star. I feel like he would be amazing. He'd put up so many yards, so many touchdowns on probably a lot of carries, but it would be an efficient number, like yards per carry wise. And then Tevin Coleman's good. I feel like not the same thing with him with Mostert. Like, I don't think he would do as good, but I feel like he could be an 1,000-yard rusher for a team efficiently. Jerick McKinnon has not played in like 2 years. He just hasn't been able to get healthy, but if he's on this team, he could be a huge impact. Wide receivers, definitely their weakest group. They have Deebo Samuel, Kendrick Bourne, Brandon Ayuk, and Trent Taylor, and Dante Pettis, and Jalen Hurd. Also Travis Benjamin. I did not know that. Actually, no, I did. I just forgot about it. But yeah, Deebo Samuel's going to his second year. Kendrick Bourne is good in the red zone, but like outside of that, he's all right. And Brandon Ayuk's a rookie. They drafted him in the first round. We'll have to see how he can do. Especially, he'll be huge for them. Deebo Samuel needs to prove that he's a number 1 receiver because they need him to be. And then Dante Pettis was supposed to be good last year, but he was awful. And as a whole, the wide receiver group is average at best, unless Deebo Samuel can prove that he's amazing. Tight end, they also have George Kittle, second best or best tight end in the league, depending on your just opinion. Doesn't really matter. I mean, he's good. He can run block. He's great in the pass game. I don't know what else you can expect from him. Offensive line, it's good, but not great. They have Trent Williams, star left tackle. Laken Tomlinson had a little bit of a revive with the 49ers after leaving the Lions, but he's not great. Weston Richburg, a good center. Daniel Brunskill, he's all right. I don't know much about him, but I know he's not bad by any means. And Mike McGlinchey, I'm pretty sure he's going to his second or third year. He has not done great his career, but he's definitely done good. We'll have to see if he can become a big-time offensive lineman for them. Their defense is obviously where they make their money. Nick Bosa with Ronald Blair backing him up. Javon Kinlaw at defensive tackle. Solomon Thomas also at defensive tackle. Arik Armstead and D Ford at defensive end. Quan Alexander and Fred Warner at linebackers. Both of them are great. Quan Alexander is one of my favorite players in the league. I really started to like him, like the game that his brother died and he got the pick, and just the forced fumble. So that whole game was just like really what made me like him, to show like what passion he had for the game even after death and someone in his family. Slot strong side linebacker, I thought that's a slot corner, is Dre Greenlaw. He's not bad. Richard Sherman, Emmanuel Mosley, Akella Witherspoon, Kawan Williams, Shaquisky Tart, Jimmy Ward, all good secondary pieces with Kawan Williams and Kel Witherspoon backing up Rich Sherman and Emmanuel Mosley, according to ESPN depth chart. I feel like Akella Witherspoon will start over Emmanuel Mosley, but as of now, that's their depth chart with Jason Verrett too. Oh, I forgot about him. He's been injured for a while. And just Quisky Tart and Jimmy Ward have been great for the 49ers. Just their defense as a whole, it's impossible to run or pass against, unless you're the Chiefs. If you can air them out deep down the field, that's where you'll make your money against the 49ers. as the Chiefs showed in the Super Bowl, but I don't think a lot of teams will be able to do it due to the pressure that their defensive line will create, especially if they blitz with Quan Alexander and Fred Warner coming at you, and Dre Greenlaw. I feel like no team will really be able to stop the 49ers next year, but I have them at number 3 just because I feel like I like Jimmy Garoppolo, but I don't feel like he's amazing. I don't think he's worth the money he was paid, and I feel like their wide receivers may prove to be detrimental to them unless Brandon Ayuk, however you say his last name, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel can prove to be good receivers. And right now it seems like Deebo and George Kittle are the only proven people in their pass game, and Raheem Mostert. And now at number 4, we have the Green Bay Packers. I mean, some of the worst general managing job I've seen was this draft. Their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, backup Jordan Love, running back Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, and A.J. Dillon. They picked a running back in the second round, which is kind of justifiable because Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams are both free agents. You can't pay them both. Maybe they won't pay either of them and just have A.J. Dillon start. But still, when your wide receivers after Devontae Adams go Allen Lazard, Devin Funchess, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Jake Kumaro, and Equanimous St. Brown. I've heard of him. Don't know how to say his name. It's hard to pronounce. And their tight ends, not great. They have Jace Sternberger, Josiah DeGuara, and Mercedes Lewis. I mean, that's just a weak tight end group. No proven names. We'll have to see if any of them can be good for them. Offensive line is good. They have Dave Bakhtiari, Elgton Jenkins, Corey Linsley, Billy Turner, and Rick Wagner. Rick Wagner's a alright right tackle. David Bakhtiari is one of the best left tackles. Corey Linsley's a good center. And the 2 guards are alright. Their defense it's pretty good, but not amazing. They have Dean Lowry, who I don't know much about. Kenny Clark, who's a good nose tackle. Tyler Lancaster at the other defensive end. Preston Smith, a good pass rusher. Christian Kirksey, a good inside linebacker. Oren Burks. Zadarius Smith, another great pass rusher. Jair Alexander, Adrian Amos, Darnell Savage, and Kevin King. That secondary is very good. For a team that's like a dream secondary to have, you got 2 young corners and 2 young safeties. Adrian Amos not being wicked young, but Darnell Savage entering his second year. Darnell Savage is really good. I know he plays 2K with Young Precise, and he's pretty good at 2K too, so I mean, he's got a lot going for him. Honestly, though, I feel like the Packers I don't know if I can see them making the Super Bowl. They definitely are the 4th best team in the NFC, though, just from their balanced roster, good offensive line, one good receiver, great running backs, great quarterback, great defensive line. At least the outside linebackers, Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith, and their nose tackle Kenny Clark. 1 good inside linebacker, and 2 good corners and 2 good safeties. They have a great defense, good special teams. Wasn't J.K. Scott the punter that got his foot to his head, everyone was going crazy about? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was him. So yeah, they got a boot of a punter. They have a good kicker. They just have a good team all around. But I see them as the 4th best team just because I think the other 3 teams ahead of them are better by a mile. And we'll just have to see if the Packers can come over the hump. I know they made the NFC Championship last year, but I don't think that they can make. I don't think they can make it. But as the 4th best team, I think the other 3 teams have a much higher chance. 5 is Seattle. Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Philip Dorsett, and David Moore. That's their quarterback through wide receiver. It's a great group. It's a great group of pass catchers and runners right there. They also have Greg Olsen, Will Dissly, and Jacob Hollister. 3 good tight ends. Jacob Hollister's not great. Will Dissly's good, but he's very injury prone. And Greg Olsen is old. We'll see, and also injury prone recently. We'll have to see how he does. And yeah, as a whole, that offense is good. Their offensive line is definitely their weakness. Their only really good offensive linemen are Dwayne Brown, and Mikey Upati is old now, so he's kind of fallen off. But he's still not bad. The rest of them, B.J. Finney, Damian Lewis, and Brandon Shell are all They're all just And they also signed Cedric Ugboihi, the first-round pick for the Bengals a couple years ago, who's a bust. And then on their defense, they have Bruce Irvin, they have Puna Ford, Jaron Reed, Benson Mayoya, I can't say that, but you know who I'm talking about. Jordan Brooks, who they just drafted, Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Shaquille Griffin, Bradley McDougald, Quandre Diggs, Quentin Dunbar, Trey Flowers, and Nico Thorpe, and Marquise Blair. So their corners are good, except for Quentin Dunbar, likes to rob people. But, not my issue. That's his personal information. If he wants to rob someone, go ahead. You're not going to get suspended by the league for sure. If Ray Rice gets a 2-game suspension for beating his girlfriend or wife, then you won't get anything. Quandre Diggs is a good safety. He's one of the most underrated players in the league, in my opinion. Bradley McDougald is a proven starter, but not really much besides that. Shaquille Griffin is young. They also have Shaquem Griffin, who doesn't play much for them. Bobby Wagner's obviously great. We'll have to see how Jordan Brooks does his rookie year. KJ Wright is good. Bruce Irvin's good. Javon Reed's good. As a whole, their defense is great. Their offense is great. Just, blocking for Russell Wilson's going to be an issue, but it's just because Russell Wilson's so elusive that he gets by. To my 2 sleepers. My number 1 sleeper is the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, Zeke, Tony Pollard, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. Great pass catchers and skill players right there. They just drafted CeeDee Lamb with the first-round pick. I mean, he's going to be good for them. They also have Blake Jarwin at tight end. They have obviously one of the best offensive lines. Tyron Smith, Connor Williams, Joe Looney, Zach Martin, and La'el Collins. Travis Frederick retired, so they drafted a center. We'll have to see how their center does. And then Connor Williams, don't know much about him, but he'll be fine. He's surrounded by 3. Him and the center will be fine. He's surrounded by 3 really good 2 tackles and 1 other guard. So as a whole, their offense is great, but the Cowboys love to go 8-8 every year. And then their defense: DeMarcus Lawrence, Joe McCoy, Dontari Poe, Tyron Crawford. Great defensive line right there. That's just 4 names that you love to hear. Lane Vander Esch, Jalen Smith, Sean Lee, and other great 3 linebackers. Chidobe Awuzie, Trayvon Diggs, Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis at corner. Clinton Dix, didn't know they signed him. And Xavier Woods at safety. Xavier Woods is I'd be a little worried about that. But, and they also signed Greg Zerline at kicker. Their secondary is good. It's not great, but it's good. We'll have to see how Trayvon Diggs does as a rookie. Their linebackers are great. Their defensive line is amazing. But who knows? Maybe Mike McCarthy isn't the coach for them either, like Jason Garrett wasn't. And they'll go 8-8 again. Maybe 9-7. You know what? I'll give them 9-7 to make the playoffs, all right? And for my number 2 sleeper, huge sleeper. This is a huge sleeper. The Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage. Russell Gage is all right wide receiver 3, nothing else. Their 2 wide receiver, their wide receiver 1 and 2 are great. Running back is injury prone with arthritis in his knee. We'll have to see how he does on a new team. Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. Tight end Hayden Hurst, I think he'll be great for them. He was a former first-round pick the same year that Mark Andrews was drafted. That's why he wasn't used, because Mark Andrews proved to be better, or at least got more opportunity. Offensive line has a lot of young pieces. They have Jake Matthews, Matt Hennessy, Alex Mack, Chris Lindstrom, and Caleb McGarry. I had Chris Lindstrom in my under 25 team. I think he'll be great for them. Jake Matthews is proven. Alex Mack is proven. The other 2 are not very proven, but I think they'll be fine. Their defense is It's They have Tack McKinley. They have Grady Jarrett, who's good. Tyler Davison, Alan Bailey. As a whole, that defensive line's not great, but Grady Jarrett's the best of them. Oh, they also signed Dante Fowler, so he'll be good for them. He'll be pass rushing. Deion Jones, great. Oh, Jesus. Foyesade Alukun. God only knows who that is. I don't think anyone outside of Atlanta knows who Foyesade Alukun is. If you do, and you're not an Atlanta Falcons fan, or whatever college you went to's fan, let me know, because I have no idea who that is. A.J. Terrell, they just drafted in the first round. Keanu Neal, DeMonte Casey, and Ricardo Allen at safety. 3 good safeties. Ricardo Allen's a great backup safety, I can tell you that right now. They also have Isaiah Oliver with Bill D. Ray Wilson and Kendall Sheffield at backup corner. Look, their corners aren't great, but they're all young. We'll have to see how they do for the Falcons. Their safeties are good, especially with Keanu Neal. Their linebackers are good. Their pass rush will be all right with Dante Fowler, Grady Jarrett, and potentially Tack McKinley. We'll see if he can be good. They also signed Charles Harris, as being my second favorite team being the Dolphins, seeing him drafted before TJ Watt, I had no idea who he was when he was drafted. I was so mad because who wouldn't want JJ Watt's brother? I mean, Derek Watt's a fullback, but that's besides the point. I mean, TJ. Like, he was obviously going to be good, but the Dolphins were like, nah, let's draft Charles Harris. But nope, they missed out. Now he's not even on the team. But yeah, as a whole, their defense is average, and their offense is good, but we'll have to see how Russell Gage and Todd Gurley and Hayden Hurst do as their wide receiver 3, running back 1, and tight end 1. So yeah, I think they definitely have obviously the lowest chance out of any team here. Just they were in it a couple years ago. I see them as a sleeper for it just because of they have a kind of balanced team, more towards the offensive end. They definitely have more talent in the offense, but their defense is not bad. You know, it's not great, but it's not bad. We'll have to see how Dan Quinn does. He's kind of on the hot seat right now for coaches in the league. And they also have one of the coolest kickers in Young Hui Koo, or at least name-wise. So yeah, I feel like the Falcons will make the playoffs next year, believe it or not. I could have put the Eagles in this spot, but Carson Wentz, who knows if he'll be healthy then, and or if he'll choke in the playoffs. I mean, Dak could easily choke in the playoffs too. But I don't know, I feel like Wentz has a bigger chance. I think Wentz is better. But, you know, we'll just have to see. That's my take on who's going to make the Super Bowl in the NFC.